Hi, I'm Shea Oliver, science fiction and horror writer. Welcome to my very first weekly video update. I'm doing this update to keep my readers and fans up to date on my current writing projects. Please forgive me if I stumble and I'm a little bit goofy. I'm sure I'm going to be a bit clumsy as I get going and doing this video updating, video blogging. So please bear with me. I'd like to start off with an announcement. On May 15th, I'm going to be relaunching The Betrayal of Ka, the Transprophetic Book 1. It's my first sci-fi novel, and it needed a little bit of polishing and a little bit of cleaning up. Didn't change the story any, but I am going to relaunch it on May 15th. As part of that relaunch, I'm giving away 100 copies of the book on Goodreads. So if you're a Goodreads user, on May 15th, you can go log into Goodreads and enter that giveaway to win one of 100 copies of The Betrayal of Ka. The big impetus to get The Betrayal of Ka released is that in September, I am going to be releasing Book 2 of the Transprophetics. I've been working on it on and off for a while, and then earlier this year I decided, hey, it is past time for me to get going and get this done. So right now I'm sitting at over 65,000 words in my rough draft. The target range for genre fiction books is generally 80 to 120,000. The Betrayal of Ka was 97,000, so I'll be right in that range when I'm done. After I finish the rough draft, I'll set it aside for a little bit, then I'll come back and I'll revise and edit and polish and work with it for a while. Then it'll go off to beta readers and a professional editor, and then back to me to make sure I'm happy with everything, and then it'll be released in September. So if you read Book 1 and you can't wait till September, here on this weekly update, I'm going to be explaining how you can get advanced reader copies of Book 2 before it's released to the public. So come back and watch this as I do this each week. Hopefully I'll get a little bit smoother as I go about doing this. So let me step over to something else and talk a little bit about my horror writing. I write short horror stories, and they kind of come in two flavors. One's just a traditional horror story that's of whatever length the story requires to be written in. I'm also doing something called flash fiction, where I'm writing stories that are 250 words exactly long. So they're horror stories of 250 words. These have been published various places. Eventually they're going to be in a book called 250 Words of Fear and Terror. Probably going to be a few years before I get enough of them to actually justify making a book of them. But I'd like to highlight one of those stories, which was published in The Junction, which is a publication on medium.com called To Cheat the Reaper. It's a story about a guy who gets to come upon the Grim Reaper doing his appointed task of taking somebody's life, and then discovers that he's next. So what do you do? So you can go to my website, sheaoliver.com, and poke around and find that blog post that actually contains that story. Or if you want to go directly to Medium, if you type in sheaoliver.com/cr1, that will redirect you to The Junction on Medium and to my story. So take a read and let me know what you think. So that's it. Thanks for coming and hanging out and listening to my first weekly update. This will be the first of many. Hopefully I'm going to get a little bit better at doing it. If you have any questions or want to get in contact with me, please hop over to my website, sheaoliver.com, and in the navigation, click Contact. That has a form where you can get a hold of me. If you'd prefer to use social media, I'm active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and those links are all also on sheaoliver.com. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next week.